Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Maryann Okonkwo. I am a Nigerian content creator based in Minnesota. I make YouTube videos regarding productivity, lifestyle, career, and my side hustles. If those are content pillars that interest you, then definitely consider joining the family. Should you decide to join the family, make sure to click the subscribe button down below and make sure to turn on the post notification bell so you'll be notified every time I post a new video up on my channel, which I do every Wednesday, Fridays, and Sundays. So in today's video, I am so excited to be bringing this to you guys. I recently successfully, in quotes, completed my first semester at my MBA program, and I'm so excited to share all the tips and tricks that would be useful to you guys should you decide to school in the US. And I'm sharing this now because I don't want to forget all the things that I learned first semester, and I would rather do it now than to do it at the end of my MBA. So I'm kind of like taking you guys along the journey and sharing like my key learning experiences with you guys. But in today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys how to survive your very first semester here in the US. As you guys know, as a foreigner moving to the US, there's going to be cultural shock. The way they do things here is quite different from the way back home, and the way the professors expect you to answer questions and talk intelligently is quite different from in Nigeria. While in Nigeria you can get away with just cramming and dumping stuff, but here in the US they're going to be testing your critical thinking ability, and if you fail in that aspect, then you're going to struggle throughout the semester. But thanks to my wonderful self, I'm going to be sharing all the tips and tricks that are going to be super helpful to you guys if you're deciding to school in the US and help you succeed in your first semester excellently. Okay, so let's go straight into today's video, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Okay, just saying, no pressure at all, just subscribe when you can. Okay, anyways, in today's video I'm going to be sharing 10 important tips or tricks that actually helped me this semester. And as you guys know, I'm currently an MBA student in Minnesota, and just being new, and I think we're just about 3 black people in the class, it always comes with some sensitivity around, you know, skin colors and stuff, and it's always very important for you to think and make sure that your skin color does not limit your ability to learn or participate in the class. I'm going to be sharing those key 10 tips with you guys. So starting off, I have my iPad here where I've written down all the points, so make sure you listen and take notes. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is don't be shy. Like, don't feel like you're different from any other person. You guys all had the same opportunity to be in class. Nobody has 10 heads or 20 heads, or nobody's better than you because of their skin color. You are all on the same level. Why? Because you're all here to learn, or you're in that class to learn. So don't be shy to ask your questions. Don't be shy. Don't feel like, oh, they're gonna laugh at me. Even if your accent is weird, you can't speak English, try and speak, try and participate. And why this is very important is because most professors here in the US, they actually grade you for participation. So if you're just in class and you're shy, you're feeling like, oh, you're gonna be laughed at, there's been several occasions where I would ask questions and then people in the class would chuckle. I don't see that as anything. Like, if anything, I'll just feel like, I'll feel honored that at least they're laughing at a joke I made. But don't feel bad about it. Why? Because you're here to learn, and that's the mentality you should have. So whether people laugh at you, whether people are going to weird around you, or they feel like you ask too much questions, that's their not your own goal is to make sure you absorb as much learning as you can from that class, to make sure that you excel in your career and not just in school, because when you go out there you're going to need to participate, and shyness, there's no excuses for you to be shy. So make sure you participate. Don't be shy. Don't feel like, oh, because I'm black they're going to laugh at my accent and whatnot. I've been on several calls with many like companies here in the US, like services, like, you know, Best Buy. I think it was TJ Michael. So I called them and I was speaking correct English. I was speaking my English like the way I'm talking with you guys, and they were telling me, oh, sorry, can't hear you, your accent is weird. I'm like, at that point I got really mad, and I told her, like, so she couldn't hear me, so I went directly to the store and I confronted the store manager and told them that I got a call, I was speaking with this person, and the person told me that my accent was weird, that that's such a wrong thing to say. You know, I told them, she didn't even say sorry, like she didn't apologize for it, but you know, I just felt good that I'd already pointed that out. So don't be shy. When you feel like you've been wronged, don't take it in, because it's going to affect the way you study or the way you interact with that person. So when you have issues with people, don't be shy about it. Confront them, tell them, oh, I'm sorry, and perhaps you didn't mean it this way, but this was how it actually came off. And maybe next time just be more cautious about, you know, how culturally different you are from other people. You understand what I mean? But politely say that anyways, you know what I mean. So the next point is participation. Class participation is very important. I already touched on this earlier, but I'm going to talk about it now. Some professors will give a whole 15 points just for for class participation. So you can imagine, if you do well in your assignments, you do well in your class participation, that's already putting you in the pathway for C or B. And then if you now do excellently well in your midterm and finals, then you get an A. So you see how that helps you in that sense. So always make sure you participate in class, ask questions. Even if you don't have any questions to ask, answer the questions that the professors are asking. No matter how stupid your answers are or your question is, they would always respond. I've had like a professor, you know, who told me during one-on-one meeting that, oh, I asked too many questions. And I'm like, you know, I mean, I appreciate the feedback, but I've also gotten the feedback for some of my classmates who are shy, that they appreciate my questions, that me asking the questions makes them, the questions that I'm asking are literally the same questions that they had in mind but can't ask because they are shy. So I feel like I'm doing everybody a favor. I'm participating in class, I'm also helping these people learn, and I'm also helping myself to learn. So their professors are going to feel that way, but disregard that because you're here to learn. Because at the end of the day, if you don't understand that concept, the professor is not going to be able to help you. You have to be able to open your mind to learn. And no matter how he explains and you don't ask questions, you don't understand, and you're not asking questions, you're going to be screwed throughout that semester, and you don't want that to happen. So always make sure you participate in class. Always make sure that you're asking questions, intelligent questions. Even if it's stupid, ask the question. You're also participating in class, answering questions, also like answering any classmates' questions, those kind of stuff. So it's very, very, very important. I cannot overemphasize that. So regardless of me being like just minority in the class, or my accent is different, or like each time I would have to take down my mask and talk so they can read my lips, because apparently they can't understand my accent. So even if you need to do that, put down your mask, talk so that they can hear you, they can read your lips and hear what you're saying. Just whatever you do, make sure you participate, because it's very, very important. And that's my second most important tip. Now the third tip I have for you guys is assignments are very, very important, especially as an MBA student. There are several courses that you're going to be introduced to for the very first time. As you guys have watched from my career video, if you guys haven't already watched it, I shared a video about my career journey, so click the link up here to go watch it, or here, as the case may be. And in that video I was talking about just marketing, and you guys can tell that I don't have a very strong mathematical background. So I didn't do accounting, I didn't do financial accounting or statistics. The limit of my statistics knowledge was just the research I did in my office, which was basically surveys. And so I didn't do hardcore regression, fit model, I didn't do any of those. So you're going to be learning a lot of new concepts for the very first time. So you need to be open-minded, and you need to take advantage of those assignments, because those assignments are going to help, not only help you learn, but also act as a buffer. I remember I was very terrible. Let me give you an example. My economics, like my exams, my midterm, my final exam, I failed. And when I say I failed like below average. You know, when something like the total score is 60 and you're getting 20 or 30 or 25. That was how bad my economics assignment was. Now I'll tell you how I managed to get a B in that class, even though I failed my final exam. It was because of my assignments and my class participation. So I scored full point class participation, and then for my assignments I scored almost 90 over 100 or 95 over 100. And that's because the resources are online. You can ask questions, you can work with your study partners to get those assignments done. And once you get like 100% to your assignments, your final exams doesn't really have like a huge impact. If you do well, fine, you get an A. If you don't, you get a B or C, worst case scenario. So always make sure that you're doing your assignments correctly, not just doing it for doing sake. Make sure you're doing it to get 100%. And that was the mentality that I had this semester, that whatever the case may be, whether I hate this subject or I don't like this subject, I'm going to make sure that I work my hardest at it. I'm going to study extra hard. As you guys can see from my productivity vlogs, you'd see that I spent a lot of time studying on financial management, because I've never done it before. And this was my first time hearing about NPV, time value of money, all those like I've never heard that in my career. I've never done that before. So but it was just interesting. And typically for somebody who is new, you know, a lot of people will expect that you will struggle, which is real. I struggled with it. And then people would also expect that you will fail, because that's not your strong suit. But then again, I'm the kind of person that I don't like letting my destiny be a deciding factor, you know, whether I'm going to pass or not. If I don't understand something, I spend extra time. I don't mind spending like the whole day trying to figure it out, but I'm going to figure it out. And I think one thing that helped me with my grades, even though I didn't really do like excellently in my assignment, but I tried to make sure that I got at least 90% over 100 or 89% over 100, but it was very close to 100%, and that was able to help with my grades. I also didn't do badly in my exams or midterm, so that also helped me with a B or plus in financial management. So I've never done the course before. I just spent a lot of time studying it. I made sure I did all my assignments, and then it just helped helped me grow. Here in the US, you want to avoid B's or C's like as much as you can, because I had a B and in financial management, but it still kind of like dropped my GPA. I don't even know how that happened, but yeah, you want to make sure you target A's. So if you fall within the B, then that's fine. That's my third point. Now, fourthly, you want to find a study system that works for you. For me personally, if you guys noticed from all my study vlogs and productivity videos, you'd notice that I like studying alone. I will take time, study all the bits and pieces myself, and when I fully understand it, I don't like studying with people at that initial phase, because one, it slows me down, and then we're going to spend time arguing about the right approach. Do you understand what I mean? So one person will have a different approach, this person will have a different approach, so you just spend a lot of time trying to figure it out, and then it slows you down. So I would rather go figure it out, understand it, figure out the approach that works best for me, and then everybody does the same, and then we now come together. And you would notice that when I did that this semester, our study sessions went by so fast, because members of my team, they had already gone to study it, they had their own approach that worked for them. So when we came, we worked a different approach, and we still arrived at the same answer, and then we're able to move on to other things. So maybe consider doing that. If you feel like you study really slow, take your time, because I read really fast, so I would rather do that myself and then come and then explain to people or join them in their arguments or debating which approach is the best, and it moves faster that way. So always think of yourself first. I mean, that's what works for me. Some people prefer to work with people, like study with groups. I do that as well. After I'd studied myself, I would then study with people. Even if I don't understand the concepts like are new to me, I'd rather go do it myself alone and then come back and then join the team. If I try to figure it severally and I'm not getting it, then I'll now reach out for help or something. So that's the approach that's been working for me so far. You might want to do something different, but just find a study system that works best for you. Fifthly, you want to always put yourself first. I know that sounds selfish, but at the end of the day, the grades are yours. You're not going to claim somebody else's grades, so you want to make sure that you're comfortable first before helping somebody else. And I'll give an example. So last semester, I spent a lot of time. There was a particular course that I was working on, and I spent a lot of time trying to help one of my study partners that I didn't have time to study for myself. And the next day, I was having the exams, and I was struggling because I had to cover like 10 modules in the next 2 hours. I was anxious, I was having headache, and it was just not helping me. But if I had done my own reading before then helping her, it would have, like, I wouldn't have felt that anxious the next day for the exam, and I would have done, I mean, I did very well in the exam, don't get me wrong, and that was because I had already studied it during Thanksgiving. So I didn't study at all, but I'd done it like way back. So when I was going through it, first the 2 hours that I had, I went by it like really fast. And that's why I said I study fast when I'm studying alone. But if I had I'd never seen those concepts before, I would definitely have struggled, because those are new. I would need to learn how to do this one, how to do that. So make sure you think of I know it's like some people will say it's selfish, but I really don't care. You need to think of yourself first. You have to be able to help yourself. You have to even understand what you're explaining before you can explain to somebody else. So always try to study and understand the concept first. And then you too, like, I also feel like if you're struggling with something, don't just give up and say, oh, I'm going to meet this person to explain to me. Do your part, try to figure it out, and then as you give it a try, you're going to find out what works. Like, what are you getting wrong? Do you understand? During my financial management examination, there was I know I mentioned it, there was this practice midterm that I was working on. I saw like 2 pages of like long ass, like as if they were writing love letter to me, and that was just one question. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do this. I just read the first paragraph. I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna do this. So I kept on procrastinating, I kept on building my anxiety. I was just like getting anxious, and finally I gave it a try, and surprise, I was able to answer the first question. The second question was now what I struggled with, but I was able to start, and then I finished it, but I didn't get the right answer. I went back and I was comparing this with the solution. I realized where I got it wrong, and I was able to meet within my study team, and they were able to explain to me the part that I missed. This was why you missed it. But if I had not done that, I'm putting pressure on these people that are already studying, and they've already moved past like where I'm currently at. Do you understand? And then they would now have to start explaining all over. But if I had taken the time to go through it, and then so they would even take me seriously. Okay, at least you've gone through it. This is the aspect that you're now like struggling with. They will be more open to sharing that. So always keep that in mind, that in as much as you feel like when people explain to you it's better, always do your part to actually try to understand the concept, because if you don't understand it, what the person is explaining will just be going in through here and coming out through the other ear. So I just wanted to put that there. Again, it's not selfish to put yourself first. It's just you being proactive and, you know, planning ahead. Okay, then the 6th point I have is have study sessions with study partners. I know I said I'm not really big on study sessions, but what works for me, the study system system that works for me is me taking my time, at least a week or a couple of days, studying all the concepts, making sure I understand them, and the ones I don't understand, I'm highlighting them, trying it again and highlighting what I'm missing, and then going into the study session, telling them this is what I'm struggling with, and then we'll all jump in and try to solve it. So if everybody's doing the same thing, the study session would go by very fast. But if we're having to do everything from afresh, then it slows all of us down, and then we're not able to cover grounds like real fast. So always keep that in mind. One point that I didn't have here that I probably need to mention is when you're in class, always pay full attention. And there are two ways you can do this. So you can type. So I'm going to make it, just let me know if you're interested, but I'm going to make a video on how I take notes in class. So you can type in class. So I use Microsoft OneNote for my notes. I created folders for each of those courses, and then I have each session, and I'm typing in class. I'm typing really fast and I'm making a lot of errors, but I'm typing it, and that way as he's saying it and I'm typing it, it's sticking. I don't know, it's just weird. I'm understanding it better than if I'm just in class looking or just participating. But if I'm typing it and then I'm going back after class that day, or maybe weekend, because I usually don't have time throughout the week until weekend, that's when I now like go through all my notes. I'm now like watching the session, because they will record the session and share the Zoom recording to everybody. So when you're watching the video, you're understanding, okay, this was where mistake, the error made, like you're understanding it better. So that's the approach that works. Some people would rather just be in class, listen, you know, and don't know, maybe go watch the videos. It makes it harder. I tried to do that with my marketing management and I struggle with that. I didn't take notes in my like marketing management class because the class was just so fun and class activities, and I struggled. So right now I'm thinking about it and I'm like, even though I have like an overarching idea of what happened, I can't really pinpoint which of the sessions we talked about this or that, and that's really bad. So always make sure you type, or writing is very slow for me, so I prefer to type class and type rubbish. Like I'm going to have so many typo errors, but when I'm watching the video again, I'm able to now remember, okay, this was what I meant, and then it's like it's flowing better than if I'm just watching the video for the very first time. You understand what I mean? For calculation classes like financial management, I would type and then I would also take notes, but I spent more time taking notes because they were mostly formula based. So I'll have like the Excel, the PowerPoint open, and I'm writing down like the calculation and how she's arriving at those, and then I'm going back watch the videos and I'm making my own detailed notes. So I had class notes financial management and I had my study notes for financial management, so that really helped me a lot. Let me know if you're interested in like a detailed how I take notes in class and how I study and prepare for exams. I would happily do that, but that was one point that I wanted to add there. And then you also want to make sure that you attend all the office hours. Two things, yeah, it's very helpful because you get to ask your questions, and if there's anything you don't understand, the professors or their TAs will always like be available to answer your questions, and you're going to learn one or two new things from those sessions, because there are some things that will come to their mind during the session that didn't come to their mind during the class. So it's always very important for you to attend those sessions. And then secondly, professors like when students attend their office sessions, because it tells them that you're really vested and interested in that particular course, and it puts a face to the name. So like they're seeing you often, they're seeing you participating in class, they're building this good perception about you. So you want to make sure that you're doing that. Like my stats class, I attended all the off hours. I will set up like additional office hours outside office hours to ask questions. I would send emails with questions, like if I'm struggling with a particular question. Like the professor knew my face, he knew my name. The time I now went for his office hour in person, was like, you're very hardworking. I'm like, thank you. So always make sure you do that, because then it gives them that good perception, which is what you want. Because already most people would have like a weird perception about black people. We're lazy, we're that, which is actually the reverse. We're very hardworking, we're intelligent, we're very smart. So you need to show all of that, especially with a competitive classmates like the ones you would have. So always make sure you attend those sessions. They love meeting their students. Take advantage of it. It also signals to them that you really enjoy their classes, which you are, because if you're not interested, you'll not be attending those office hours. So when you're struggling with something, feel free to always email the professors. They are very happy to respond. It's not like Nigeria, where some of them are like, even in Nigeria I do the same thing, and they're always happy to help. These professors here, they are always very happy to help you if you're struggling with something. So give them that chance to do that, learn, and you know, you should be fine. And then the next point I want to make is having or making reasonable friends. When I say reasonable friends, I mean people have different kinds of friends. So you might have friends for when you want to party, or friends for when you want to gist or gossip or those kind of stuff. But realistically, you want to have friends that are just as ambitious as you are, who want the same things like you. They might not want the same thing, their priorities in life might not be the same with you, but they want to succeed, and that's enough to just reflect on you. Because as they say, there's this, I'm going to find the adage and put it on the screen, that your friends or the kind of attitude they have about life life would also be reflective on your own perception about life. So you want to make sure that you're keeping the right friends, and keeping the right friends that are ambitious, they are hardworking, you know, they also want to figure out things just as you want to figure out things. And that also helps you, because if you have like less motivated people as friends, you're going to be less motivated about stuff as well. But if you have highly motivated people as friends, it's going to also ginger you that, okay, I need to get my shit together, I need to, you know, work hard, those kind of stuff. So always make sure that you're keeping good friends around you. That is very, very important. I don't have a lot of friends. I am very strategic about my friends, and I don't like keeping a lot of friends because I've had like several bad experiences having friends. And most importantly, I'm like an introvert, so to say. So usually I don't have a lot of friends, and then the bad experience I had just like shut me down. So I do have acquaintances who are my study partners, as you would have probably seen them in most of my vlogs, Janet and Jebe. I also have Ronke, good friend. I also have Susan. Those are like literally, and Wura. Those are like literally the people that I call like friends or acquaintances. I feel friends is like a very strong word, and you would have to earn that position. But yeah, everybody's an acquaintance to me, like good acquaintances, let's put it like that. But yeah, I really like them. They're very highly motivated. They encourage me, you know, like they will tell you whole high, especially Ronke. I really appreciated her when I came into the US newly. She was one showing me the ropes, showing me the way. She helped me with my business setup. You would think that somebody who has a business would think, oh, I don't want to help her so that, you know, she doesn't like that kind of steal my idea or something. But she was very open, and that's one thing I really appreciated from her. So till date, till I die, she's gonna be my realest one. So Ronke, this is to you, girl. Okay, just a couple of people that I call friends, and of course my husband, a good friend of mine. Okay. Then one thing I want to tell you as well is, in as much as you want to work hard, you want to work extremely hard, you also need to learn how to work smart. So when you're given an assignment, don't go and like, the first thing I usually do is I go to the internet and try to find out if there are resources that would help me solve those questions. If there are none, I try to figure it out myself. If I'm not able to figure out myself, I then ask people who are better at it, and if they're not able to figure it out, I then reach out to the professor. So that's like my level of research. So always be smart, like use your opolo, use your sense. Always, like everything, like Google should be your best friend. Resources are out there, so many resources. So always like check them out. They are super helpful. Even like your school, depending on what school you're going to. Like my school now has access to LinkedIn Learning, I think Wall Street Journal, right? I'm not sure, but because I haven't used Wall Street Journal, but journal websites that you can actually use for your papers and stuff. Even prepping for exams, if you check online, you'll see like practice questions, those kind of stuff. I also plan on making a video on how I prep for my exams. Let me know if you're interested in that, so I can film that earlier than anticipated or scheduled. Okay. And finally, you need to be ambitious. Like if you're not ambitious or hardworking, there is no way you're going to achieve anything. So you have to have that can-do spirit, that hardworking spirit. It needs to be your best friend, because if you're not ambitious, you don't want something better for yourself, your content where you are, then you're not going to be motivated to strive for something better. So always look up, like you know what I mean, aim for the best and nothing for the best. And that's why even with academics, aim to have A's. So if you fall among the B's, then that's fine. So it's just better that way than, you know, just like randomly going into it and praying that everything goes fine. So very, very important. You need to be very, very ambitious. And that's why I said, like my friends, I make sure that they are like, I mean, there are some of them that are not as ambitious as I am, but they provide value. So that's one thing. That's why I should have said, make friends, have friends that like provide value, and you provide value too. So it's a two-way thing. You're providing value to them, they are also providing value to you. There's this thing they call it in biology, is it symbiotic relationship or something? I'm not sure. Like, you know, I'll find it and I'll put it here. So make sure you are ambitious, you're hardworking, you want the best for yourself, and everything is going to fall in place. And be very, very hardworking. The mentality I have, which has always helped me throughout life and even like my career and school and everything, is I like to work. I work extremely hard, and that's because I believe that, I don't know, I've not been so lucky as there are some people who like they do it once and it works out for them. But for me, over the course of my life, I've learned that I need to work 10 times or 20 times more than a regular person to achieve what a regular person would achieve. So once you know that, you know, okay, you need to work 20 times, I would work 40 times so I can be better than what that regular person would achieve. And that's just been what has been working for me. So I do my very best, and then I leave the rest for God, and God has always come true. So always be prayerful, be motivated, motivated, keep yourself, be ambitious, want the best for yourself, want to get better at the things you do, want to excel, and then it will ginger you. You'll be more motivated to achieve what you want to achieve. So I hope with all these tips you're going to excel in your first semester in the US or just in school in general. Well, these are tips that are very relevant. I feel like some of this might not really apply to Nigeria, but many of it would apply to Nigeria if you're a Nigerian student. So definitely take anyone that applies to you or works for you and run with it. Let me know down below what tips you have for anybody who is watching, or even for me, on how to excel. If you're schooling, if you're a student, let me know if you're a student in the comment section. Do you plan on taking an MBA or doing masters or doing some form of graduate degree afterwards? And what tips have helped you throughout your education to excel or not excel? Down below, and I'll see you guys in my next one. I love you guys as usual. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Like this video if you liked it or enjoyed it and watch this to the very end. Comment, what should I say? Comment love emoji down below to let me know that you watched this video to the end. Subscribe, turn on the post notifications so you'll be notified every time I have a new video up on my channel. Until my next one, guys, I love you guys. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.